Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our second YDC Live Facebook broadcast. It's the first for the year of 2020, and I hope one and all are well settled into the year and things are going good and everything is going well. Your families are doing well. The practices are running absolutely smoothly, and I wish you all the best for this fabulous year of 2020. On today's live broadcast, we have a very special guest, the man behind SADA. So, Mr. SADA himself here, the CEO of the South African Dental Association, Mr. KC Makhubele. Thank you so much, Mr. KC Makhubele, for joining us today. And I wish you also everything of the best for 2020.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bhikha. Thank you very much as the president of the YDC for allowing me this platform to interact, to share some ideas, share some information with the young dentists out there, those that are already in varsity, those that are in ComServe, those that are doing their first year or second year of dentistry, and even those that are still planning to apply to be at universities to do dentistry.
Wonderful, thank you again. So if you get started tonight on some questions. 2020 has been said to be a year full of hype, full of motivation, dedication. A lot of people have a lot of big things planned. What has SADA planned for 2020 in a nutshell?
Yeah, I like when you start like that because 2020, as you would understand from an optician or optometrist side of view, it's called the full vision. So this is the year that organizations, if they haven't had a full vision or in the past, this is the year that they actually should be running full force. I'm very excited about the association itself. I'm very excited about the profession itself. I really do believe that 2020 is going to usher us into a new era in terms of the profession. There's quite a lot of big things that are going to start in 2020. Unfortunately, when it comes to our profession, it's not something that happens in one go. But definitely, we are going to be moved into an area of success, in an area of impact, both in terms of how we do things in dentistry or oral health, as well as how we see the education sector actually teaching our students, which we can share at some stage, as well as how we actually take ourselves and the information that we have educationally to the public out there. So there's big things that are coming our way, but it's a start of the big things.
Is it? Yeah. Okay. And if I may quickly just ask you, what is SADA's New Year's resolution? So every year in January, you know, we have that hype, that enthusiasm about what's our New Year's resolution. A lot of people sign up for the gym in January, and then it goes well in February. By March, it's like, oh, I'm so busy. And then come December, and oh, you know what? I haven't been to the gym in 3 or 4 months. What is SADA's New Year's resolution?
Yeah, you know, that's very interesting. I think for me, the resolutions are informed both by what the pains of our members are, as well as where, as an organization, as the board of SADA, the National Council, wants to see the profession go into. So if I were to talk about the first one, is that there's quite a lot of things that aren't really settled when it comes to how our doctors out there, whether in the private practice or in the public sector, are experiencing. So in a nutshell, we want to look and tackle those issues that would add value to our members, and specifically in a way that they deal with third-party funders, as well as their lived experiences when it comes to issues of the law, some of which has become very much prohibitive. But also, you have the other side, which is the dental patient out there. How do we actually get them to understand and to learn things that they should know in terms of oral health? I believe there's a lot of knowledge that we have as a profession that we haven't really shared enough with the public out there. And I think that's why at the moment they don't see that as a reason, they don't see a reason to visit a dentist.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see. If I may just ask if we can just speak a bit more louder so we are audible to the public. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Your team and yourself had the opportunity to engage with the National Health Ministry. I think this was about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
If you'd be so kind enough, please will you give us some pointers that came out of that meeting and that would add to your 2020 vision?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it was a very, it was an honor for the South African Dental Association's board or the board representatives to go and meet with the Minister of Health, Dr. Zweli Mkhize. We met with Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi previously, and he was with his deputy, Dr. Joe Patla. It was really a great honor. We went to see him. We spoke broadly about how we can impact the platform of oral health. But more specifically for me, there is an urgent issue of the National Health Insurance, which as an organization and as a profession, we feel that we have been left out. If you read that document, you will feel that oral health does not exist. Yet oral health should actually be in the forefront of what happens in terms of the NHI. And what we were trying to get was to get them to allow us a space where we can influence, we can impact, and also give solutions on how the NHI can work effectively when it comes to NHI. So that's one of the things that we have looked at. The other issue that we have raised, and there are many others, but I just want to share with you a few things. It relates to what I said in terms of maybe prohibitive acts and laws. One of the issues that we currently have and we're experiencing or having a bad experience about in the profession has got to do with the Radiation Control Act, which I feel quite honestly it has added a burden to the profession, it has added a burden to the practitioner, and we believe that we have not been well consulted about this particular act, and it is very costly to a level that I believe we are not able to give the good service that we should be giving to our patients. So I want us to revisit that with the minister. So I've raised that with the minister with a view to reviewing this particular provision and possibly setting it aside for the time being while we look at what is happening internationally. But also what would excite maybe the YDC community has got to do with the ComServe. As you know, we are all required to do that 1 year of ComServe after you've graduated, which I think when it was conceived, it was really a very good plan. However, we have run into many problems since it's been implemented. Number one, you find that not all of the students are placed immediately. Some of our students wait for 6 months after graduation before they are placed in a ComServe hospital or a clinic, which is a problem because you want to do ComServe and then go and start working. But even those that get placed in a ComServe space, they face problems, which I raised with the minister. I'm going to give you examples. Number one, they get placed in a remote clinic, alone. There's no supervisor. And you're in a ComServe service. You need to have a supervisor. That for me is a problem. It's a problem for the association. It's a problem for the ComServe student or doctor. It's a problem, and it should be a problem to the ministry. And the minister agrees to that. On top of that, where you are placed as a ComServe student, think about it. You went to Vets University. You come out with so much learning and so much things that you want to actually implement in a ComServe environment and help the public out there. However, you get to a clinic where you are doing the 12 months ComServe. And guess what? The only thing that you can do is pain management and extractions. That's not what you are taught at university. In actual fact, those are the list of what you should be doing in terms of a full oral health service. So we have a problem. I raised this with the minister. I said, as an association, I have a bigger problem that I have 12 months of someone that has come out from a university well trained, they are not able to implement what they have learned to an extent that when they finish the 12 months, they actually are a worse off doctor than they have been when they qualified. That should be changed. So whether we need to relook at how we deal with the resourcing of that, or maybe change the amount of time that people spend on ComServe, 6 months or 3 months, whatever it is, or bring in the private sector to help with the ComServe here.
Yes.
That's what we are looking at.
Did the Minister of Health acknowledge that there is a lack of resources, that there are challenges in government that these ComServe doctors are facing? Did he acknowledge and accept?
Absolutely. He said, you know what, I agree fully with what the association is saying, what SADA is saying, and we definitely need to look at that, and we would welcome the association giving us some input. But he also indicated that one of their problems is that they don't have enough posts, they don't have enough funding for these posts, and that is causing an issue. Now, can you imagine, this is the funding for the posts. We haven't spoken about the issue of having adequate equipment for you to be able to operate as a full trained dentist in that particular clinic. And the fourth thing that may also excite some of the students that are still there and maybe people in the future is, when we look at the future of dentistry, we must ask ourselves, how do we train students to solve problems of tomorrow? How do we add dignity to those that are being trained today? And how do we answer the call of NHI? So one of the things that we are going to be suggesting to the academia, suggesting to the ministry, is the issue of combining some of the allied training. For instance, when we talk about oral hygienists and dental therapy, maybe combine that into a different degree and create a better middle skilled professional practitioner in oral health. Think about it. How many people that come out of oral hygiene qualified, they want to be a dentist, yet there is no easy articulation to become a dentist. The same as a dental therapy, but there is no easy articulation. And majority of those people that go into those levels because they wanted to be dentists in the first place. So I'm saying, let's look at a different level that is higher than the oral hygienist at the moment, the way they are trained, even the dental therapists. Bring them slightly higher. I think that will answer the issue of articulation between that particular middle level to the dentist, as well as answer how we deal with oral hygiene, how we deal with dental and oral issues when it comes to the National Insurance Act. So those are some of the issues that we have discussed with the minister.
So all these issues that you've mentioned, I mean, who must be on the forefront of addressing? Is it SADA? Is it the government? Is it the private practitioner?
So SADA is the mouthpiece, and SADA must remain the mouthpiece. However, I always say that when you have a mouthpiece, there must be someone that feeds that mouth. So I want to see more of the young people that are in school and those that have qualified, that are still in the young dentist councils community, to actually stand up and say, these are the issues that affect us. And we want to be there with you, SADA, and we want to work with you to deal with these issues. Help us guide as to who are the people we should be speaking to. And we are willing to do that. The same thing as when it comes to the private practitioner, they need to raise the issues that they experience on a day-to-day basis. Those are the people that are in the cold front and they face the issues. SADA can be the vehicle and SADA will be the vehicle, but they actually need to stand with us. They can't sit there and say SADA is doing nothing for us. They should actually be saying, SADA, these are the issues that I'm facing. These are the suggested solutions that I believe we can take to these particular stakeholders to try and deal with the issues. The problem is some of our members, young and old, they don't actually tell you what the issues are. And that's where we fail. We fail ourselves, they fail themselves. We need to work together. Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
And I'm just moving on to some lighter topics. You are somebody that's very passionate about young people, young people in the profession. If somebody comes to you and says, why must I shake hands with SADA?
Yes.
Being a young dentist, I'm newly qualified. SADA maybe seems for maybe at a later stage. why is it important for young people to come to SADA and say, I am a young dentist, I want to be part of this association?
You know, a person who asks that question is a person who would not understand that a journey, you plan for a journey before you actually start a journey. All right? Now, think about it. The people that are currently at SADA, which the majority of are older, of the older generation, they have lived their experiences, their own practices. They're comfortable with where they are, right? However, the profession is moving into the new age of technology, the new age of everything else. They are not going to be the one, I'm talking the older generation, are not going to be the one that will usher SADA into that space. I need a young person that will come and shake the boat, if I can use that word. How do we go into the new era in a way that speaks to the young person, you know? And let me tell you again, when I'm sitting here, if I don't have people that agitate for such change, and the people that can only agitate for that change effectively are young people, we will not know any better. So I need that person, not to say it's for the future, but to say I need to start to build for that future today. Come and say, how do I build for that future? If you're saying for the future, who is building that future for you? Be the one that actually creates that future. So I need a young person to come and say, I want the future to be green, yellow, and whatever, but I'm going to start putting together those colors now so that when the future arrives, it is the future that I want, and not the future that was built by somebody else. So we need the young people a lot.
So all the young people out there, you've heard what the CEO says, that the change starts with you. So if you want some change, be that person that comes forward to bring that change.
Absolutely.
All right, Joe. And on the moving to the universities, I know SADA often goes to talk to the students already at maybe in their third year, their fourth year, and their fifth year.
Yeah.
What is the benefit of a young student joining SADA so early? If you can just give some pointers.
Well, let's start with the fact that joining SADA for young people, first year up until their fifth year, if you are doing dentist, you're becoming a dentist, and first year to third year, depending on what degree you are taking, is for free, absolutely free. All you need to do is to go into our website, go to the Join SADA, fill in your details. You will get, within 7 days or so, you will get someone calling you and saying, your membership is available. Once you have a membership of SADA, you've got access to many things that many other students do not have access to. As a first access, you have an access to the only accredited dental journal in Africa, the South African Dental Journal, where you can read a lot of research material, things that you might want to learn in advance and maybe even help you during your undergraduate year. But also you have access to our congresses, you have access to our branch event, where you can go there and actually listen to people that are in practice, top of the range lecturers, top of the range practitioners, who are going to teach you cutting edge procedures and how to implement certain new procedures and technology and equipment beyond what you have learned at university. I believe that a young person that joins SADA in that early age, read the material that SADA puts out there, attend the branch meeting, attend the congresses, will be a better rounded dentist than a person who does not expose themselves into that. By the way, a good thing is when you are a SADA student, free membership, you also get majorly to attend some of these events for free. And I would like to actually invite everyone out there from all the 4 universities and all the technical universities to make sure that they go online and they put their names and join SADA so that they can receive material. Secondly, on top of all what I've just indicated, in terms of the lectures that we do, and Dr. Metzing will be doing a lot of this going into universities this year. At the university, they train you to be a great and an excellent clinician, which It is good. That's what their job is. But we train you to be able to run your business. So now we come from the other side and tell you what are the other things that you must consider if you are going to be running a practice, particularly a private practice. So in terms of the software that goes with it, in terms of the coding and how you claim for your procedures. But on top of that, we also teach you around making sure that you put insurance, whether it is your dental insurance or it could be the practice insurance. Those are the things and the equipment that you require if you are going to practice without having areas of worry at the back of your mind. Okay. So quite a lot of things that we can deal with. Yeah.
So from that you heard two important words, free and wisdom. So the combination, absolutely amazing. All right. So for all you young students out there, free and wisdom, it's all yours. So take advantage of this opportunity mentioned by the CEO, and this is proof that that it's available for you.
And they don't have to wait for anyone. They can go to www.sada.co.za and they look under Join SADA and they can complete. They don't have to speak to anyone. But I think we must mention at this stage, if you allow me, President.
Yes.
You are the president of the Young Dentist Council, which they must be aware of. This is a platform where they can bring whatever they want. I want to hear more of the young people telling you what is it that they want to learn. It is our role between you and I to actually go and source that kind of learning so we can bring it to them. This year, my idea and your idea is that we are going to have a lot of online teaching which they can learn. But they must tell us, they must tell you. So what is it that is troubling them? If they are still at varsity, what is it that they would like to learn that we can assist them with? If they have qualified and they are doing ComServe, what is it that they want to hear about? For those that have gone beyond ComServe, what is it that they want to hear about? We have access to international information about this, but we want to know from them. And we can drive these platforms so they can learn. We're going to do a lot of them with you this year. I can see this happening, and we're going to invite them. They must make that's hence they also need to make sure that they're on our database so that when you are advertising this, they are following our social media, but they're also on a database and they can learn a lot for free. For free.
Yes. So fight for that.
Yeah.
So look, me being part of the YDC, a lot of young dentists approach me with some of the issues.
Right.
And I would just like to share some of the issues, and maybe you can give them some reassurance regarding these issues. So the NHI, I know it's a very broad topic, but if we can just speak briefly about that. A young dentist once came to me and said that with the NHI, I'm newly qualified. What's the future like with NHI in South Africa? Should I consider moving abroad? Should I change my profession? Am I going to be paid less? Aspects like this. So if you can first tell us, what is SADA's stance on the NHI, and what is SADA's view on the NHI bill?
Yes.
So
yes.
if you can just elaborate.
No, absolutely. I think let's start by saying clearly the NHI is a direction that South Africa has taken, and that direction is not going to change. So NHI will happen. NHI does not start with South Africa, by the way. NHI is operating in the UK. NHI is operating in companies like Germany. We can call them. So our stance as SADA is that we support the principle of universal health care. All it is that we support the idea that government makes it easy for any person who requires, in this case, oral health services, to access that, regardless of their income status. So think about it, a Magogo that is in Matiani, as well as a Magogo that's in Sandton. When they've got a toothache or they've got a cancer in their mouth, they can actually go and access the dentist exactly the same and be treated the same. The NHI, what it is that it's a vehicle to actually fund that. So if you think about it, NHI is a medical insurance exactly as we have at the moment, except that the medical insurance at the moment is private. This time is going to be government-led, government-administered. We will still have NHI in the private sector, but obviously giving supplementary or complementary services. So that will happen. So this just means we have NHI as a medical aid, governed or administered by government. So for those young people that are out there, I would say no, not to worry. In actual fact, as a positive is that majority of people that never went to see a dentist, number one, because they did not have funds, they will now actually go and see a dentist. Even those that had medical aid who thought their funds were limited, now they will have to go and see a dentist. In actual fact, on a positive level, I believe that if I look at the dental side, we're going to do more of primary health care from an oral health perspective, more than we have done. So that is a positive. I wouldn't encourage them to leave to the States. What they must also understand with NHI at the moment, it is just a framework. That framework is a reason why we have gone to see the minister, which you mentioned earlier on, to say we want to be part and parcel of making sure that the framework, when it is finally and fully implemented, it actually addresses the needs and the concerns that we have as the oral health fraternity. And we do have concerns. So we must make that very clear. We do have concerns. But we are not going to run away from the concerns. We do have concerns, but we also have solutions. Our involvement with the government is to offer those solutions. I do have positivity that in actual fact, we, together with government, can make the NHI in the oral health space work. I'm positive about that.
Okay.
It's not going to be a short journey. It's going to be a long journey, but we can make it work.
Do you see that a lot of people also are concerned, when is it going to kick in?
Yes.
What's your say on that? How soon? How late? Is it when I'm a grandfather, or is it going to be next few years?
Okay. Let me start with, there is a dream by the government that in the next 3 to 5 years, this should actually be happening. In actual fact, in some circles of government, they will tell you they've already started this. However, they will also tell you that because it's a framework, to be fully implemented is going to take a very long time. Some of the people that are currently practicing, I foresee that by the time it's fully implemented, they would have even retired. Okay? But of course, those that are young, that are like yourself, and those that are coming out of university, we are going to experience NHI in one form or the other. So it's going to be implemented in stages. Those stages does not mean in what stage 1 is a year, according to me. It's going to be, these are the things that we want to achieve in stage 1. Tick if it's achieved, and that could be a year, 2 years, 3 years. Once we have learned and we are comfortable with stage 1, the way I see it, if government is comfortable, they'll move into stage 2. These are the things that we want to achieve in stage 2. Until they have ticked those, they will not be able to move into stage 3. So I see this as a long process. Personally, if you were to ask me, I don't see NHI being fully implemented within a space less than 25 years as a start.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think in the long run, let's be positive about it and be optimistic.
I believe if we get involved, we can make it happen. And we can, let me put this way, I always say to some of the members, it is better to get involved, because if you're not involved, you may not get a loaf of bread. We want a loaf of bread, but even if we go in, we get 3/4 of a loaf of bread, it's better than nothing.
Okay.
So let's get involved.
Let's get that.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the next concern that somebody actually raised with me, maybe let's say about 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Somebody said they're in their community service here. It's their first month, and already feeling very overwhelmed. They said to me that if I look, 12 months down the line, where will I be? Will I still have a job? Is SADA doing something to retain ComServe posts? What are they doing for us afterwards? Is that SADA's responsibility? What do I do? They already said I feel scared spending my first month's salary, because I already feel that I need to be keeping as much as I can for afterwards.
Yes, yes. All right. So let me start with saying that the NHI itself is going to actually make it more obvious in South Africa that we don't have enough oral health practitioners. When you create a need from the community and from the populace, you're going to find out the supplier side, which is the provider side, which is the dental side, the dentist, we don't have enough. I worked it out and I said if we were to look at the active populace versus what we have in South Africa, possibly we have a ratio of about 1 dentist, and I can't remember my numbers now fully, but I think it's 1 dentist to 1.6 million. Now, please explain to me, if those people were to, if they were to visit your surgery once a year, can you finish that number? You won't.